Hey, I'm so excited to introduce you to my first date here with Scott Evan Davis. No, I'm so excited because this is a gentleman I've known long distance now for about a year and a half, and we're meeting for the first time.
Live
it's
in
very
person.
Nice. I first met Scott. I first heard about Scott when my friend David Snyder, who was a very well-known musical director on the West Coast, who moved to the East Coast a few years back, and he called me up and said, I've been working with this guy. He's a super talented singer-songwriter. He's a super talented performer. He's got this incredible body of work, and he wants to come do the show in L.A. So I booked you at the Catalina
Jazz Club.
Which was a big hit.
It went really well.
And
I loved it.
And since booking him when I didn't know him at all, I've now learned we have 1,010 mutual friends.
Yes,
so
true.
Tell me a little bit about that. That was your show, Picture Perfect, right?
It was one of the incarnations of the show.
Right.
So I did my album came out a couple years ago, and then I decided instead of just doing concerts, I would make it into a review. Mm-hmm. And Lenny Watts, who's a cabaret director here, he's a great guy. He helped me structure it into a review. And we did about 4 or 5 shows here at the Duplex.
Yes.
Then we went to the Catalina Jazz Club
in Los Angeles,
which was beautiful, incredible. And then I put it away for a while. It was nominated for a MAC award, and then I had an opportunity to redevelop it as more of a musical. Mm-hmm. And so I got the chance to go to London this summer. We did it at the St. James.
Yes.
And then right from there, it was in the Adelaide Cabaret Festival in Australia.
Oh, nice.
As the review version. So I flew to Australia.
I hear that's so incredibly fabulous.
It was so great. And it was funny because at the same time I was there, Liz Calloway, Faith Prince, and they're all on my album.
Right.
So it was really kind of neat just to be there and have New York take over.
So your album is other performers doing the music as well.
Yeah.
And so, give me some of those names again. Liz,
Faith Prince. The album's called Cautiously Optimistic. So, Liz Calloway, Faith Prince, Jason Gra.
Yes, my very good friend.
I figured you would know him.
Yes.
I can't think anymore. Lisa Howard from Spelling Bee.
Karen Mason, was she on that?
She wasn't on that one, but it's funny because I'm just now putting together my second one, and she'll do that song.
And you had a night at 54 Below recently?
Yeah, so when I got back the day that I was flying to London, I got an email from 54 Below saying, would you want to do a concert? And of course, you say yes, and then freak out later. Right. And they said, we need a cast list within a week, and there was no way that I was going to be able to do that from overseas. So I said, can this wait till I come home? So, because I was traveling for a month, and then I came home, and then I had about a month to put it together. And that was a real, talk about a night of your life.
So I called Karen Mason.
Well, it's funny because I emailed some people, and I had never met Karen Mason before. And I just knew her and was a fan of her.
Right.
And I just emailed her off of Facebook, actually.
Oh, really?
And I said, would you consider singing? And she said, oh, my God, I would love to do that. And I guess she knew some of my songs.
Right.
And I decided that I could give her either a song that I had already written, because the idea of the concert was new material. Right. So I had kind of drummed these songs I had to death. So I wanted to do a showcase of new stuff. And I decided to write her a song for that concert because I thought, why not? What a great opportunity. And I did. And it was just a really great match.
Who else was in that evening?
Lisa Howard, Derek from Spelling Bee, and actually she's coming to Broadway in It Should Have Been You, I think it's called. Derek Klena, who was in Wicked and Dogfight and some of the really great things, and Remy Zakin from Spring Awakenings, and some other the original cast of Picture Perfect brought them back. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah.
Now, when I first was setting you up at Catalina's, through that, I get an email from my, at the time, new friend Kate Bazakis. Scott, how do you know my friend Scott? He's been my friend for 20 years.
Yeah. Ooh, not that long.
Well, whatever it was.
I don't know if it's that long. I gotta do the math.
But Kate runs Rockwell now.
I know. Well, when I was there to do Picture Perfect, I did her open mic.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I went.
I don't think she ran it at that point, though.
She was there. She hosted it.
She hosted it, but she actually is the,
I get what you're saying.
The entertainment director there now.
That's amazing.
She's taken it over, and she's going
belting her high G's as...
Yeah. So she's a woman who used to live in New York and was very active here.
She was in my first concert.
And now she's taken California by storm.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I love her. She's my good pal.
She's incredible.
She's on my show a lot. Hey, Kate.
Oh, well, hi, Kate. Yeah, she's great.
So it sounds like what you're doing with Picture Perfect seems a little bit on like the same track of like a John Bacchino, which is my highest compliment.
I love John Bacchino. I absolutely worship. Actually, it's so funny. When I was a singer, cabaret person, a long time ago, because I only started writing music 4 years ago.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was a very, very new thing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But back when I was singing, I did my first cabaret show and only cabaret show as a singer, mostly his stuff.
Right.
That was a huge thing for me. I love him. Yeah, it's taking on whatever life it has. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm trying all these things out. Is it a sung-through review? Does it need a book? I don't know. I'm trying a couple different things. It always goes really well. I just don't know where it will land.
The more mundane questions, like where are you from?
New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Freehold, New Jersey.
Okay.
Hi, Mom. No, I'm just yeah, she's...
And how long have you been in the city, as they say?
This is my 14th year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went to college in Boston at Emerson College.
Mm-hmm.
Then I finished college at AMDA here in New York.
Uh-huh.
And I've been here ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was that thought process that moved you from being a singer to exploring your own writing?
So it's a crazy little story.
Yes.
Yes. And actually it's what the album was based on. Because, like I said, I was an actor. I toured around, got my equity card when I was 23, did a lot of tours and regional stuff. And then I was in this off-Broadway play called Joy. Mm-hmm. Directed by Ben Rimmelauer, who I don't know if you know that name or not.
I don't know, but it's quite a name.
Yeah, he's great. He's now a cabaret kind of one-man show person, not a singer, but an actor. He's and a writer. He's fantastic. Mm-hmm. So I was in that show, and I was really kind of not in a great place, just in my own head. And I had a dream, and the backstory of that is when I was, this is such a crazy story to tell, and I always get a little weary telling people because I'm always afraid they're going to think I'm insane. But it's all very true. When I was in AMDA, I had my teacher, I had a mentor who, he and I just had a really great relationship. His name was Brian Ashinger, and he was a really great musical theater teacher. Mm-hmm. Again, where I wasn't the most stable place in my life, and we just kind of had a connection. And he was very sick. He had cancer, and he was given, I think, 1.5 years to live when I met him. But I was 19, so what did I know?
Right.
I ended up moving in with him to save money on a dorm room, and kind of just helped take care of things around and did all that. Anyway, that's him. We had a big falling out when I wanted to go to college in Boston and pursue other things other than theater, and it was a really hard thing for him because he had given so much time in his last year to me. And of course, again, I was 19, so you don't process all of that. You just do what you need to do.
Right.
So unfortunately, we lost contact, moved to Boston, and about 1 year or 2 later, I heard that he passed away. So we never got to resolve anything. But when I was in Joy, putting it all together, years and years later, I had a dream, and I dreamt of him. And he was sitting on a park bench, and he was really just healthy and great. And I hadn't dreamt of him or thought about him in years. And he was just sitting there like this, just with his arms out, and in the dream, I hugged him. And in those moments where you just know you've been forgiven, right? So that's how I felt. But except he wouldn't let go, and he was humming while he was hugging me. And I remember in the dream being so, I needed air, I just couldn't breathe, and then he would just hug tighter. And eventually what woke me up was needing to take a deep breath. So the melody he was humming just never left. And that became my first song, and that became Cautiously Optimistic, which then unleashed all of this writing. It really wasn't until that moment that I was like, because I had to go to a piano, because I've always played the piano. I taught myself when I was 12. But it was just something I did for fun. And I just got to the piano and I played it out, and from there it just started, and I've never
I think we need to give him co-author credit.
I know. Well, in the leaflet on my album, I dedicate it to him.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's a crazy story, but it's true.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to tell the folks? I think they've met you now.
Yeah, I guess
and
they
the
have.
next time you come to Los Angeles, maybe some of them will come out.
Yeah. Just I'm working towards a second album, and hopefully that will come out as soon as I can get that together.
So Picture Perfect is a separate thing from Cautiously Optimistic. Yes. It's a separate body of songs.
Well, there's a couple of the songs from there, but a lot of new stuff in it. Yeah.
So that will be what's the second album, or
the second album is going to be some of the new stuff from Picture Perfect, and then a bunch of new songs that I've just written as standalone songs.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be watching the evolution. Of Scott Evan Davis.
That's a great album title. Thank you.
The Evolution.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Welcome to the world of Cabarabia, the world where Broadway, jazz, comedy, and pop share the spotlight, and a 2-drink minimum. With your host, producer, director Clifford Bell, keeping the world safe for live performances in intimate settings on Global Voice Broadcasting.